This semi-final, as the previous, the best of 7 games, each game to 11 points. And it looks like Mari Baldwin to serve at the start of the first game.
First game, Baldwin to serve, level.
There we are, we see the long pimples there from Mari coming into effect there. Emily just mistiming the ball a little bit.
One up. One, two.
Quite as much backspin on the ball there as
Emily assumed.
Bolton thought. Lifted a fraction too much. That really is going to be the telling tactical point, how well she plays the backspin from that pimpled surface.
2-all.
Mari coached by Craig Bryant, newly appointed women's coach, well, for the World Championships.
And of course, those World Championships now postponed.
Yep.
A new date in June has been provisionally put forward. The coronavirus, of course, disrupting sport all around the world at the moment.
3, 2.
Pushed that, but almost punched it with the long pimples. I don't think we've got many players, Maria, who play this style at the moment in England.
Not many. No, I haven't actually seen any since I think I was a cadet, and there were a few knocking about, but now she's brought it back. On the world circuit, though, you find with anti-spin more. Manica Batra, also where I practice in Italy, we have Jamila Laurenti, who is second place at European Championships this year in the junior event.
Oh, that's a good rally.
Good fighting from Emily there, coming backwards and forwards. Good footwork.
Emily Bolton's been to the quarter-final a few times, but this is her first time in the semi-final. She's just beginning to feel her way.
4, 5.
Getting a feel for the backspin that's on the ball when Baldwin uses those long pimples with that punchy type action. There it is.
Go. 5-all.
I don't know how comfortable Emily is playing with against the long pimples, but at the moment it seems like her tactic is to play there. So I don't know if she's expecting unforced errors or something.
I'm not sure, but maybe she's playing into the pimples just to get a feel for it early in the game. You know, she's not looking to be aggressive yet. She's just getting a feel, which probably is a very sensible thing to do.
Definitely. If you haven't played against this style, so you want to understand what balls are coming back to her, and each service, what kind of receive she's going to get. There you are. That top spin, she played those long pimples, came back, heavy backspin.
The more topspin you put on, the more backspin comes back off those long pimples, doesn't it? And that was a classic example. Good topspin from Bolton, the chop block, the punch from Baldwin, heavy backspin on the ball.
6, 7.
But it is interesting, as you said, Marie. She's playing into the backhand. She's playing into the long pimples.
Left. 6, 7. Go. 7-all.
It's interesting there, Baldwin not just putting the ball on the table with those long pimples, she's actually punching the ball, sending it over with quite a bit of pace.
There we are, first attacking, well, one of two I've seen into the forehand, and there. Mari looking a little less comfortable.
Oh, well played. Counter topspin off the bounce from Bolton there.
You can see how Mari is coming round, actually stepping round after that last point where she missed the forehand. She's stepping round and playing that backhand from the forehand side. Leaves a big gap for Emily there.
8, 9.
Oh, again, the pimples there, just causing the ball to wobble a little bit as well. Heavy backspin. So the business end of the first game, 9 points apiece. And Emily Bolton has the slight advantage. It's her serves to come. Remember, the best of 7 games. You could see there Baldwin just spinning the back, twiddling, one with the pimples, one with the reverse.
Yeah.
That's quite brave.
Holding herself there, holding at the table, putting that pressure on Emily. Oh.
Clever topspin from Bolton. Just took the pace off the ball a little bit. It didn't come through. We see here how Bolton backs off the table. Didn't quite come through to it. Alternate serving now. 2 clear points. And it's now
11.
Baldwin with a game point. Oh, that's a good topspin. Down the middle of the table, into that area where you're not sure whether to play a backhand or a forehand. 11 points apiece. Good topspin from Bolton there. Brushed up the back of the ball, went for spin rather than speed. Clever play. And so now it is Emily Bolton with a game point.
Ball, game ball.
Brave play by the teenager, got in with the topspin behind the serve. Players can towel down every 6 points, both taking the opportunity to do so. 12 points apiece.
13.
Now Mari Baldwin, game point. What a time to serve off. And that is the first game to Mari Baldwin, 14 points to 12. Still a long way to go, but the teenager opens her account. Interesting game.
Yeah, definitely. Emily's tactic there was definitely to play into the backhand, which I think, if I'm right, I think that tactic might slightly change a little bit, because as I saw when she attacked to the forehand, she was winning the majority of the points.
So both players now back in their respective corners. Advice from their coaches. There is Emily Bolton's coach. And as you mentioned, Marie, it is Craig Bryant, who is Mari's personal coach as well. Former England junior #1, top 10 England senior player, Commonwealth medalist, and building up a very good reputation, a very strong reputation as a coach. So the players make their way back to the table for the second game.
Second game, to serve, level.
Baldwin took the first game, 14-12, and it's Bolton to serve at the start of the second game.
And a very aggressive shot from Emily there. I think with a little bit more power, could work effectively for her.
Good backspin serve from Bolton there. Just used her wrist, cut underneath the ball.
Yep.
As a young teenager, Emily Bolton played her table tennis in the Barrow League and is currently at Bedford University studying PE and sport with a view to being a PE teacher, potentially.
2, 3.
It's interesting why you have Emily Bolton from Barrow in Finesse. You don't get much further north. You can do a little bit further in England, but at the other end of the country, Oakhampton, Mary Baldwin plays quite a bit of her table tennis at the Euler Plymouth Club. Obviously under the watchful eye of Craig Bryant, and the club is building up a very strong reputation.
Emily always going for that reverse pendulum serve.
Tintin Ho there in the crowd watching. Seems very relaxed at the moment, just having a little look at who she's going to be playing later on this afternoon in the final. Difficult one to call at this point in time.
Yeah, it definitely is. You never know, you can go 2-3-0 down, and in these kind of games, people can come back. It's only 1-0, 6-5, very all to play for both players still.
A lot of spin flying around there, the heavy top spins from Bolton, the punches, the blocks with that long pimple surface on the backhand from Baldwin. But I have to say, what impresses me about Baldwin, she's prepared to turn the back round. We call that twiddling, don't we? It's a bit of an unusual name, but it basically means turning the back round in your hand, in between points. 1 minute she's got the pimples on the backhand, then she's got the reverse on the backhand.
5, 8.
The reverse rubber means the smooth surface that's very good for spinning the ball, for generating spin. You could see the black side punching that ball through.
9.
Very positive, very brave.
Oh, that was brilliant. Brilliant by Emily there. That recovery, and you know, she went for that forehand topspin. She just hit it straight past Mari.
That could be a pivotal point.
Yeah, could be. Those kind of points are sometimes the turning points in matches. Remember last year when I was playing against Denise in the semi-final, point where I switched hands and it was 2-1 to Denise, 8-7. That made it 9-7.
Just looks as though she's getting a little frustrated. Even though she lost the first game, you felt she had a plan. She was playing into the pimple. She was getting used to the spins that were being generated. But now she's facing 3 game points to go 2-0 down, Bolton.
10, 8.
Again, Baldwin, even though she lost the point, she was moving the ball around the table. She was going down the line with the backhand on that occasion. Not just playing on the diagonal all the time, which some players tend to do. Play safe. Moving the ball around.
8.
She's done it again. She's taken the second game.
Yeah, she's taking the
11
second one, the
points
underdog.
to 8. And now Mari Baldwin from Oakhampton leads by 2-0. Just a little bit of a smile on her face. Craig Bryant there, he'll be delighted with it so far, with the game so far, the match. But he knows as well as anybody there's a long way to go yet. Best of 7 games. And Emily Bolton, certainly a reputation for fighting all the way.
Neither of the players really that vocal, really. Mari being the more vocal one on the court. Makes a change from me playing. And even Tintin nowadays, a lot more vocal than she used to be.
That was that great rally. But going back to that point about being vocal, I think the crowd like to see that.
Yeah,
They like to see players who...
It is for spectators, but at the same time, you got to play for how you like playing, really.
Exactly. I remember when I was a young tennis fan watching Bjorn Borg play John McEnroe, the two extremes there, but it was just doing what came natural is the key to success, the key to producing your best. Borg, of course, the Iceman, and John McEnroe, renowned for his boisterous, I think is the way to put it, behaviour. Mark Bates there, the tournament sponsor, enjoying the table tennis.
It's interesting to see that Emily normally wins the first couple of points and then Mari gets back always. Oh.
Bolton did well there. She was forced away from the table. She started to throw the ball up in the air, as we'll see on the replay, but she was getting the ball deep. There we see. That's pretty close, almost on the baseline. And then she mistakes that high ball.
Mari being very effective with the spin that's coming back to her, looking, she turned around there, look to get her forehand in, look for that attack. Not just there with the pimples.
Again, I know I keep saying it in commentary, but she twiddles so well. She did a punch with the pimples, spun her back round, blocked one with topspin with the reverse on her backhand, and then back to the pimples. Makes life so difficult for the opponent.
Yeah, she even went for a big backhand punch there. Emily blocking that down the line while counter punching it down the line. Mari just slightly out of position. Being very aggressive there, Mari.
Good technique over the table there. The return was maybe fractionally high from Bolton, but Baldwin stepped in, played a superb forehand flick. In fact, you could almost say it was a forehand hit. Top of the bounce, straight through the ball. She just reads the game so well there. She played a reverse on her backhand, and then the ball came to her forehand. She spun the back round and played reverse on the forehand. And you have to be anticipating where the ball's coming, don't you,
definitely.
to do that?
It's like she knew exactly where Emily was going to play that ball.
Stepping round the backhand there to play the forehand. She's been stepping round the forehand to play the backhand. Certainly difficult for your opponent to know what you're going to do when she has so many options. Great shot down the line. Mari Baldwin taking her GCSEs, she was telling me, later this year. So that's very much on her agenda, but certainly playing the table tennis of her life at the moment.
First senior national championships.
It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yep. She tried to do the same thing again there, just overhit it a little bit. Maybe a slightly slower block would have worked a bit more effectively.
But I think when you're coaching somebody like that, to see them doing something positive, it's encouraging. She's not just keeping the ball on the table.
Yeah, I agree. She's
doing something all the
attack.
time.
6, 5.
And Emily Bolton's doing well. She's hanging on in there. But of course, 3-0 down. So I think this second game for Emily Bolton is pretty crucial. She's 6-5 up. Oh, that was a lovely shot.
5, 7.
The return was mid-table. Popped up a little bit, but very well put away by Bolton. 7-5 in favour of the Cumbrian.
Stepping around to play that backhand flick, didn't realise how much backspin was on it. Kind of went for more punch style than a spinny attack backhand flick.
7 points apiece. Moving towards the business end of this all-important third game. All-important from Emily Bolton's point of view. Good forehand topspin, very strong. Played with a lot of power. 21 years of age, Emily Bolton. Number 4 in England. And there's Mari Baldwin, number 11 in England, 15 years of age.
Oh, just that backspin stopped on the table there. Emily not going into the ball so well. Normally executing those shots a little bit clearer.
Heavy backspin on that ball there. 2 game points. Just not quite lifting the backspin. Oh, that forehand topspin with the reverse rubber out wide to Bolton's forehand, and that is a 3-1 lead. 3-0. Giving her a game. 3-0 lead for Mari Baldwin. Can she come back?
Anything can happen. I stand by. She can come back. Anything can happen in a game of table tennis. Looks like Emily's game is a little bit fluctuating there. A little bit playing some great stuff and then a little bit unforced errors. Maybe it's the unpredictable style. You can't. She's not reading the game as well as we thought she might be. But all props to Mari for coming out in her first senior national championships and showing what she's made of, really.
I think when you watch her more carefully, I think when you look at her as you're walking around the hall and you just see a player who looks quite awkward with pimples on the backhand and she's got a good forehand. But when you watch her and how she's twiddling, how she's playing down the line, how she's playing on the diagonal, how she's brave, how she's prepared to keep the opponent guessing, there's a lot more to her than actually first meets the eye.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
So I'm sure all the players from the Eula Plymouth Club will be watching this, supporting Mari. 3-0 up, she's made a great start. 1 more game required for a place in the final. Tintin Ho awaits the winner of this semi-final. She was safely through this morning. So if you were down there, Marie, and you were playing, and how would you be playing? What would be your advice now to Emily?
Ooh, difficult. I'm not playing the game, so it's difficult to know how much spin is on each shot she's giving back to you, and if she's consistently twiddling. But my advice would be use your strengths. You know what they are. She's got great open ups, great forehands. Be looking for those wide angles, playing into the body a little bit more, trying to catch her twiddling. I'd actually, personally, I would be very, very tempted to tell Emily to serve really short forehand. We haven't seen any short forehand services at the moment. Bringing Mari in. Maybe she'll play with the pimples. But even then, if you give her a nice float ball and she's there short, that leaves the whole rest of the table open for that big fade that we saw in the last set. And I think that would be my greatest tactic to Emily at the moment. Trying to get herself in those positions to clinically hit those winners past Mari. Because these long rallies, they get fiddly with these kind of rubbers. You don't want to be in those positions where you don't know what kind of spin is coming back to you. At this stage, I would say Mari's forehand, she's in a 3-0 winning position, but her forehand hasn't been as effective as her backhand. Well, saying that, she's just stepped round and hit a winner down the line with her forehand.
5-all.
Rush a little bit there from Emily.
No, but I think your thoughts on the short serve is a good one. I think trying to play the first ball maybe stronger than she is. Once it gets into the rallies, it's a little bit, it's harder because there's all sorts of spins flying around.
Yeah,
and,
I agree.
maybe look to play a strong, what we call third ball. So the service being the first ball, the return, then the third ball. Try and play a strong third ball, make life difficult for Mari. But Mari's really playing well. I'm very impressed.
But these matches are where you've got to be mentally tough, really mentally tough and mentally concentrated. A lapse in concentration and you can lose a couple of points here on the trot. Mari looking back at Craig there. Turns around and nods her head. Yep, I know what I did wrong there.
A little bit of good fortune for Emily Bolton. Raises her arm, acknowledges her good fortune. 6-8.
6-9.
Heavy backspin return from Emily Bolton that came underneath the ball. 3-point lead now.
Emily can clinch this set. It's anyone's game. Well, still she'll have to fight back, but a little bit of confidence can go a long way.
I agree.
There we are, she takes it, 3-1.
So 11-7, Emily Bolton takes the fourth game. Mari Baldwin leads by 3 games to 1. Be interesting to hear what's being said in the two respective corners. Just a few highlights of that fourth game. I suspect Craig will be explaining to Mari how just to keep going, keep playing the way she's playing, keep her focus, keep playing positive table tennis. There we saw her just step round, play the forehand. She's played backhands from the forehand side. She's sprayed the ball around the table. She's punched with the pimples. Topspin with the reverse rubber. Twiddled. In other words, turning the back round constantly. Got to keep doing all that. She's up against a strong player in Emily Bolton. Number 4 seed. Number 4 in England. Some of the dignitaries there, and Mark Bates, the sponsor of this national championships.
Baldwin to serve.
We're at Nottingham University at the David Ross Sports Centre. And we're just about to start the 5th game. 3-1 in favour of the lady at the top of the screen, the young lady,
One love.
Mari Baldwin.
Taking a 3-0 lead there, yeah.
Interesting return of serve there, side spinning the ball, and timeout called by Emily Bolton. Each player has 1 timeout during the whole match. It's a 1-minute break in play. It's been introduced now for quite a few years. It's always interesting tactically why people use the timeout. Here, 3-1 down, Emily Bolton. She was hoping for a good start, having won the 4th game, to get herself back into it, but she finds herself 3-0 down. And I would suspect that the Emily Bolton corner were thinking more about the momentum.
Yep.
How do you use your timeouts? What are you thinking with the timeout? I think that was a good timeout, personally.
I think that was a very good timeout. I personally, my timeouts, I take them very rarely, and I've been criticised a lot for that, because I might have lost a match, but it's all up to the player as well. Sometimes coaches can call them and players can refuse them, because it's how you feel, it's how you perceive the match as well as they're perceiving the match. But I definitely would have taken a timeout at this precise moment.
And I think it's interesting is that very point that you make is who calls the timeout? Does the coach call the timeout? Does the player? And I think that's something you agree before, isn't it? That some players think very well for themselves and they call the timeouts themselves. Some quite like the coach to get involved, and he can call or she can call the timeout. So it's an interesting addition to the game.
Some things coaches can see that you can't see sometimes, and some things you feel that the coaches can't feel.
So Emily Bolton wins the first point back after the timeout. So get that heavy batsman coming from that pimpled surface. Oh, well played there, Bolton. Had to do a little bit of scrambling. Did it well. Got herself back into the point, as we'll see on the replay. But again, Baldwin brave there, coming round the backhand to play a strong forehand topspin, as she did again. Steps round the backhand, plays the forehand. Bolton was unlucky there. She went for the counter topspin. It's only just missed. But I think in terms of Baldwin, what's impressive is she's prepared to take those forehand topspins on.
Mari's still looking to attack with that forehand as well. Looking very positive still. Well, she should be. She's in a very good winning position. Don't know why I'm saying still.
Oh, well played. I was going to say how well I thought Baldwin was doing there. She wasn't throwing the kitchen sink at any of those. She was playing with an element of control, but the The high balls from Emily Bolton were superb. Good point.
Oh, just that little bit. There's a very good point there.
Two-point lead for Baldwin. Good topspin. The very thing we mentioned earlier, the service, the strong topspin behind the serve, paying dividends. It's always interesting, people have opinions about a player who plays with Mari Baldwin's style and technique. Have they got a long-term future? And I think if they play positive and they develop all the skills, that they can certainly have a successful career.
Amelie Solja from Austria plays this style. She's done very well for herself, consistently between, I think she was in the top 50 in the world for a while. I don't know her current ranking, but definitely within that top 100 mark.
Oops, pushed it on the edge of the table. Just gives her a slight lifeline. And some people who've watched the national championships over the years will remember Carl Preen. Played with the long pimples, didn't use backspin too much, punched the ball, twiddled, who of course became one of the top players in the world. Good rally, both players. So this really is a pivotal moment now in this semi-final.
Yep.
7-8. It's the second serve for Bolton. Now that is brilliant. That is really good play from Baldwin. Played good control table tennis, twiddled, and then she plays a strong forehand topspin. Excellent from the 15-year-old, holding her nerve very well.
She's got 3 match balls to make it to a final in her first ever national championships.
That must be some sort of record, I would have thought. We'll have to check the record books on that one. 3 match points.
Oh, service missed.
And then she serves off. Luckily, she's got 2 more left, but she may look back on that one, who knows. 8-10. Bolton now with her 2 serves. 2 short serves and 2 strong top spins will be my order of the day.
That would also be mine.
Oh, but she serves long and wins the point. What do we know?
Timeout. Baldwin.
Timeout. I think it's a crucial timeout, very crucial timeout. She's had 2 match balls there. Now the third one, she's going to want to take that advantage of that, really.
So Craig Bryant, the Mari's coach, was on his feet there. At 10-9, timeout called. She certainly seems a mentally tough character, Baldwin. Emily Bolton, certainly a fighter all the way, as she's showing here. And this semi-final is by no means over. By no means, but this is clearly a crucial point, a crucial moment. It's Bolton serving. 10-9, 9-10. Still 1 match point remains for the 15-year-old. Oh, and she returned the net cord. That's how close winning and losing can be. 10 points apiece. 3 match points saved First player to win 2 clear points. It's alternate serving. Good smash, a little bit of side spin on the ball. Came across the inside. So she now has her 4th match point, her 4th point for a place in the final at her first ever national championships. Oops.
Oh, and Emily manages to hold it after that. A little bit awkward serve, I think, a bit of a miss hit there.
Yeah, it was like a bouncing bomb, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It bounced high in the air. And
lucky that Mari didn't step round.
So having saved 4 match points,
Emily's now got one to convert.
let's see what she does. Shorten in. Yeah, there's the shorten up. She pushes. But she's done it. She's taken the 5th game by 13 points to 11.
Maybe that's a little bit of experience there from Emily on her behalf, playing internationally and stuff like that. Holding her nerve there really well, really well.
But when you look back, there was at 10-7, Mari served off.
Yep.
Then 10-8, Emily did a long serve and she made a mistake on the return in the long serve. Then we had a net cord. Then we had the bouncing bomb.
Yep. You know, it's just nerves as well there.
So again, it's back to the corners for the 6th time. Umpire there calling the players back to the table. It's 1 minute they're allowed in those corners. Chance to rehydrate. And a chance to have 1 minute of tactics from your coach. And there we have confirmation on the screen. Mari Baldwin leads by 3 games to 2, but Emily Bolton has won the last 2 games.
6th game. Bolton to serve.
So this is proving to be a very exciting semi-final. Bolton serving. Good backspin serve from Baldwin. Bolton now with her 2 serves to come.
Oh, that was a brilliant save by Emily. Just, you know, sometimes you just got to get that feeling and just get it on the table. That's what table tennis is all about. It is keep the ball on the table for as long as you can, and sometimes that's done in an ugly fashion, but there it worked. There we are, she's taking a 2-point lead, being very aggressive now. Nice to see.
Good aggressive topspin, as you say, from Baldwin. And again, it would be so easy for Baldwin to be thinking about 10-7 up, 3 match points, serving off. But she's come back to the table, totally focused. What's happened's happened. You can't have any impact on that. Let's focus on the next point. And she's leading 6-3. Good demonstration of mental toughness so far from the 15-year-old. Good spins from Bolton there. Good gutsy play. Working hard.
Very heavy spin, top spin. Very difficult to counter loop that.
Twists and turns on a regular basis in this semi-final. Just lifted a fraction too much there, Emily Bolton.
Still keeping that 2-point lead, Mari is.
Oh, what a good counter topspin.
There, just touching the edge.
She punched it. She was being positive. And they do say good luck favours the brave.
And now she's got 4 match balls.
She had 3 match points in the last game. Couldn't quite convert it. Now she's got 4 match points in this 6th game. And she's done it at the first time of asking. Mari Baldwin takes the 6th game, 11 points to 6. And she goes through to this afternoon's final. And a gutsy performance, having knocked out the number 3 seed in the quarterfinals. She beats the number 2 seed in the semi-final, and I think overall the worthy winner.
Yeah, definitely there. She played with a heart, and she played brave, and she came out there and she showed what she was made of, and she played very, very well. Big respect to her there.
Full marks to Emily Bolton, who fought all the way, played some great shots, found it a little bit tricky against a very positive, aggressive, unusual style.
Yeah.
Unusual style,
we
but
don't
very
really see
effective
that style around here that much. We'll see how she fares against the infamous Tintin.
So we'll just enjoy a few of the highlights from that semi-final. And while you're enjoying the highlights, we'll leave you and join you very, very shortly for the men's doubles final. Don't go anywhere.
If you haven't had a look at the fan zone yet, you go down to Hall D, you have trade stands there, various activities you can take part in.